Hello. Would you like to hear a tale of hypocrisy like you've never heard before? So, do you remember Angela Rayner called students from Eton, scum? Um, Rachel Reeves said that independent schools should be abolished. They had no place in society, as did Bridget Phillipson. She didn't say those exact words. She just sort of like waged a war against independent schools and said that she only cares for kids in state education. So Bridget Phillipson only cares for 94% of children. Rachel Reeves would like to just abolish the independent sector. They add no social merit. And Angela Rayner thinks people from Eton and private schools are scum. So I think we've got a fairly clear idea of what they think about the independent sector. Now, of course, they know nothing about the independent sector because they've never actually been involved in it. All they've been is what they think is on the back foot of not having been. So based on the fact that they didn't go, they've made lots of assumptions about the people that do go. Keir Starmer did go. He went to a private school. He's a bit quiet on this. He sort of goes, that's down to Bridge and Rach. So he doesn't really get involved other than to support the VAT on education policy. So what that's meant is that all independent schools now pay 20% and all children using the facilities of independent schools. So if your child is a state school child but still goes to a summer camp, for example, or a sports camp or something, or if you have your swimming lessons at the local independent school, your dance lessons, whatever it is, you will pay 20% extra. If it goes anywhere near the independent sector, you can whack 20% on it. So we know that this is a class war. We know they've been very honest about it. We don't like these people. We hate the independent sector. And as Angela Rayner said, and let's just remember this word, scum. So Angela Rayner says the people that come from the independent sector are scum. So we know that it's the system that they have a problem with. They think it buys people privilege. Now, they've ignored the fact that if you buy a house in the catchment of an Ofsted outstanding school, you've bought your privilege. They ignore the fact that if you were able to afford a tutor to get your child through the 11 plus so that they could go to the very smart grammar school, you've bought your privilege. They've ignored the fact that effectively there are many, many ways to buy an education. What they don't like is that you buy it at source. So you can go around the houses and buy it if it's a state education that's the product, but you may not categorically spend your money on the independent sector. That is, you are social pariahs, you are scum. So imagine my surprise when I am alerted to the let me just make sure I've got the name right because somebody will tweet in and go, that's the wrong name. It is the Royal Alexandra and Albert School, set in 260 acres of parkland in Surrey. So it's got an equestrian centre. You can have subsidised horse riding. It's flexi boarding and boarding. Whopping great equestrian centre. I mean, like housing 20 horses, that's big. It will have an amazing arena. An all Steinway school, they're the very smart pianos, like mega smart. The ones that if you ever go to a music shop, you say to your children, do not get your grubby fingers on that. It's that. You don't even breathe on that. It's got every extracurricular known to man and woman. I mean, if you're an extracurricular kid, this is the school that you want to go to. It looks like a stately home. It is smarter than any of the independent schools in my area. It is beautiful. That's all I can say about it. It is a beautiful school. And when you go on the social media for this school, when you go on to the website, you see something quite surprising about a flexi boarding and boarding school with an equestrian facility and Steinway pianos littering the halls. You see that it's VAT exempt. That's their tagline, VAT exempt. All of their extracurriculars are subsidised. I know. It's extraordinary, isn't it? So these scummy people that get to put their leg up the ladder and buy their privilege, they're getting theirs subsidised. You and I, no, we're paying 20% for it, but they're getting theirs subsidised. Only here's the killer on this one. It's a state boarding school. So in every which way and how, it is identical to all the independent boarding schools across the country, but it's government funded. It is state. And actually, when I say it's identical, it's not. It's better than most of them. The facilities are way better. The state of the school is way better. It's a cracker. I mean, honestly, if this was to be a PR movie for it, you're welcome. It's free. And it really is. So what I'm struggling with is, what are these children that come from there? Are they scum? I mean, you can answer that, Angela Rayner. Are these children? I mean, the fact that we're ever putting the word scum and children in the same sentence beggars belief. But are they scum? What are they? Why is it okay for them to go to this boarding school, but it's not okay for Joe Bloggs down the road, whose parents have put him in a boarding school because they're fighting for our country in the military? I mean, I know that old-fashioned thing where you actually sort of support the country that you live in. So Joe Bloggs' parents are overseas fighting for our country, keeping us safe, and they're paying 20% on top of the school fees for the privilege. But Mr. and Mrs. Smith, round the corner, they're sending their child to a state boarding school, which has got exactly the same facilities as Eton, arguably sometimes better, and they're getting it VAT-free, and they're not scum. I mean, I don't need to say many more words. I could say more words. I mean, I'm like a little torture, aren't I? I just keep going and going and going and going on this. Rach, Bridge, Angela, Keir, I will keep talking at you. I promise. I'm not going to stop until you sort this out, until you retract this policy, until you say, yeah, we cocked it up. I will keep talking about it because it makes no sense. So if we ignore the glaringly obvious reason why some people send their children to the independent sector, which is that the state sector doesn't work, if we just ignore that bit for now and we just talk about choice, why are some parents able to choose a boarding school for their children with exactly the same facilities, if not better, than Eton, but that's okay, that's VAT-free, and they're not scum? What are their parents? Are they in the private parent lobby group? Well, no, of course they're not. They're Bridget's mates because it's state. But what if you can't afford the boarding fees or the flexi boarding fees? You can't go. So if you can't afford those fees, that's disadvantaging other children that can't afford it. So if the other kids can't afford it, why can they afford it? Why is it okay for them? Because I didn't think we were doing that. I didn't think we were advantaging one group and disadvantaging another. I thought that we all had to have exactly the same all the time, regardless of our needs. No? Well, but we are, but we're not. Anyone? I mean, I don't know whether do we need a graph? Do we need a stat? Do we need some like cool graphics to explain how this makes sense? Or do we just go with the fact that it doesn't make sense? Do we just go with the fact that this is double standards on a level that you've never seen before in your life? Go and Google it. Go and Google the Royal Alexandra and Albert School. I mean, the very fact that it's named after Prince Albert and, was it his daughter? They had a daughter, Alexandra, I'm sure they did. But go and Google it. You'll be impressed. I mean, you can't fail not to be impressed. And yet it's a state boarding school, and it's not the only one. There's loads of these. And go and have a look at them, but they're VAT-free. But they're providing the exact same product that the independent sector is providing, but the independent sector is being charged 20% VAT. Now, I don't know whether Rachel Reeves, Keir Starmer or Bridget Phillipson didn't want you to know this. I don't know whether they thought that these state schools could just be like hidden in the corner of the room like the dodgy family secret that nobody ever wants to come out, but it does come out at Christmas when everyone's had one or too many sherries and then it goes back again, never to be spoken about again. But this is a thing. This is a very real thing. So, Angela, my direct question to you, forget the whole VAT shambles, my direct question to you is, are the children of state boarding schools scum? And I don't want a waffle answer, I want a yes or no. So whenever you're ready, I'm here. And if you don't want to answer it today, I'll ask it tomorrow. And I'll just keep asking that question until we get a direct answer from you. Because I'm not going anywhere, Ange. You and I can do this. I mean, as long as it takes. I'm going nowhere, my love. So are the children that go to state boarding schools scum?